Hi, my name is Jacob, and today we're going to talk about the impact of art and the digital age in the healthcare setting. Now, let's talk about two major ways in which art can affect healthcare. The first idea we're going to go over is how learning to analyze art can greatly impact our critical thinking skills. And then we're going to follow it up by talking about how the digital age is shaping the medical world and how it's going to change in the future. Now let's start talking about why it's so important to learn how to analyze art and how we can interpret what the artist is saying in their pieces. Here we have Dr. Paul Coker, a cardiovascular surgeon, attorney, and visual artist. He notes the impact the arts have had on his medical training and career, as well as his interactions with his cardiac patients and his own healing journey as a patient. Dr. Coker found that interpreting the artwork exhibited in the halls of medical school required the same empirical and intuitive skill sets used by doctors in examining and diagnosing their patients. Therefore, he asked himself, why don't medical students immerse themselves in an ocean of arts, as well as sciences, to hone their skills? In doing so, according to Dr. Coker, would actually improve their successes in diagnosing patients. Now we take a look at this painting, and we ask ourselves, what's the artist trying to say when he draws this painting? What's he trying to prove? What's his whole story behind it? And when a person analyzes this painting, they could use the same skill set that they would be when diagnosing patients. They have to figure out what's going on, what the problem is, what's behind it. Dr. Coker also goes on to describe how artistic expression is a process of sharing emotions. And he says that it's the same process that helped him relate more empathetically with his patients. He would summon the artist inside of him to become a more caring surgeon. Now imagine if more medical professionals would share the same mindset as Dr. Coker. Imagine if there's more caring in the healthcare field. There's more empathy. Perhaps hospitals wouldn't be such a dreary place. And as for the healing process, Dr. Coker relates, from personal experience and through observing patients, that introducing any form of creative expression, whether it be exposing the patient to visual arts, music, or perhaps even literature, improves patient recovery time. To simply put it, patients feel better faster when they're exposed to these type of arts. So let's ask ourselves, what have we learned so far? We now know that practicing how to analyze art will theoretically enhance our empirical skills. Furthermore, art helps us exhibit emotion. It causes us to think about how the artist felt when they designed their piece. In other words, it causes us to feel empathy, which is desperately needed by patients when they find themselves in the hospital. Patient-doctor interactions will go more smoothly if there is a level of trust and comfortability. And this can be achieved by doctors learning how to show more empathy. Lastly, there's also a correlation between exposing patients to various forms of art and an improved recovery time. Now let's talk about the impact the digital age has on the healthcare field, as well as how it's shaping the future of medical practices. Now there's no question that technology is dominating our society. With newer technology comes more convenience and higher practicalities. Therefore, industries have begun adapting to the rapid expansion of technology and institute it within their operations. The healthcare industry is no different. The healthcare field is already embracing the ongoing waves of more advanced technology, and this is for multiple reasons. With the embracement of digital services, patient charts can now be kept online and in abundance. This saves the hassle of filing, as well as possibly losing charts. Nowadays, most patient rooms will also have computers in them for access to patient information and is also there as a resource if needed. This is a huge benefit for medical professionals as it makes their tasks much more convenient and helps alleviate time in their busy schedules. Now, we've learned how medical professionals benefit from the newer ways of technology, but what about us? Right now, it seems like our personal privacy is exposed since our patient information is kept online with access to whoever doctors decide to digitally send our information to. So, do we even benefit from the rapid advancement of technology? The answer is yes. In the science fiction movie Star Wars, made back in the late 1970s and 80s, the main character loses a hand, and then just simply has it replaced with a prosthetic one. It was as though the hand was never lost in the first place. Now, back then, we would consider prosthetic arms and legs to be science fiction, but perhaps it will no longer be fiction. With the rate that technology is advancing, prosthetic limbs are now becoming a reality. Here's where we're at today. Medline Plus states that if you are missing an arm or a leg, an artificial limb can sometimes replace it. The device, which is called a prosthesis, can help you perform daily activities such as walking, eating, or dressing. Some artificial limbs let you function nearly as well as before, but as you can see, there's still progress to be made. However, with the rate of technological advancement, I can see rapid production in the foreseeable future. Now here's where we're heading towards the future. In QMed's article, Artificial Limbs, Then, Now, and in the Future, QMed explains that researchers have long sought to develop prosthetics that can be integrated directly within the nervous system. Now, recently, considerable progress has been made in this area. Scientists at Case Western Reserve University have succeeded in using a flat interface nerve electrode, which you can observe for yourself with the picture on the screen. And it shows that prosthetic limbs are capable of offering direct sensory feedback. In an experiment, the electrode connected directly to nerves in the patient's partial arm, transmitting a sensation of touch to the fingers of the prosthetic arm. Now, those that use this type of prosthetic limb could then rely on the sensation of touch. Now, let me explain. Modern day prosthetics lack integration with our nervous system. Therefore, we have no sensation on the prosthetic limb. If we would blindly reach our prosthetic arm in a bag to pull something out, we wouldn't be able to locate it, as we would have no sense of touch for the object. However, if the flat interface nerve electrode continues to succeed, then we can use this prosthetic limb to identify objects within the bag without relying on our sight. Suddenly, the science fiction we saw in Star Wars earlier is no longer becoming fiction. Now, it's just basic science with the direction we're headed. So now we know we could basically become cyborgs in the future. Great. But what else has the new digital age and rapid expansive technology meant for the healthcare field? Here we have medical professionals performing a surgical procedure. Now, as you can see, they rely on their hands and grabbable tools to conduct the procedure. And the patient has to rely on the doctors being precise with their hands, as well as following all protocol when conducting the surgery. With that being said, it is still impressive that humans can open a body up and fix us from the inside. However, what if I told you that this type of surgery is now becoming a thing of the past? And here we have the Da Vinci surgical system, which is a surgical intuitive product. The Surgical Intuitive Company explains that this system is designed to provide surgeons with the capabilities of traditional open surgery while enabling them to operate through a few small incisions. They explain that the surgeon controls the Da Vinci system, which translates his or her arm movements into smaller, more precise movements of tiny instruments inside the patient's body. Da Vinci technology allows surgeons to perform complex and routine procedures through a few small openings. As you can see, with the advancement of newer technology, the healthcare field advances alongside it. With the innovation of technology in medicine comes higher convenience, more access to open information, as well as more precise procedures. Furthermore, as the digital age continues to dawn upon us, we become more advanced. Losing a limb may no longer be such a setback, or highly complex surgeries may become more simplified. I, for one, appreciate the impact technology has had on the medical field and anxiously await what new surprises are ahead of us. Thank you.